Oh no. Everybody, welcome back to Rams of the South Stand. Back here with your derby preview. Leeds take on the Rams Friday night, 7:45 kickoff. I'm here with my dad by popular demand. How you doing?
I'm well, Conor. You?
He's understandably a little bit nervous, but better opinions than I have. So you know he knows a lot about Leeds. So by popular demand as well, my dad being in this. So yeah, let's get into it. So anyway, guys, before I start the video, anyway, if you'd like to like the video, because it gives us a good indication on if you're enjoying the previews, whatever you want in there. If you want to put something in the comment section down below. But please like the video, please subscribe as well before you start, because it gives us an indication once again of if you're enjoying the content, if you're enjoying the channel. But yeah, the derby preview. I don't think you've seen the Bielsa conference today, have you?
No, I haven't, no.
No, so my dad's not seen the Bielsa press conference today. So I'm going to get into that in a little bit. But derby, anyway, in the last 6 on these previews, what I normally do is go into the last 6 games. And they've only won 1 in the last 6. But they've had the likes of Southampton, Borough, Norwich, Sheffield United and Forest. They're 5 out of the last 6 games. So they've only won 1. Little quiz, do you know who that was against out of those 5?
Norwich.
Yep, bang on. Norwich, yeah.
Norwich, yeah.
So they beat Norwich 4-3 in a dramatic late, but that's with the floodlights. Yeah. But yeah, so it was a pretty pragmatic comeback against Southampton the other day. They were 2-0 down, came back 2-2. Borough, they got a draw. Sheffield, I kind of wanted to base it really on the Sheffield United game because I think in a sense Leeds do play very similarly to Sheffield United. We like to play out from the back. Our defenders are good on the ball. We play very wide. We've got a good target man up front in Roof. Not necessarily a 6'5", but he's good, sort of like Billy Sharp-esque. But they play very similarly to us. That's what I think anyway. But they beat Derby 3-1. And they beat Derby pretty convincingly. And I think for Leeds to do something similar, I think if Derby come at us and try play, I think that's going to be a problem for them, because I think when teams have done that, you know, when we've played against, aside from West Brom, I think when teams have come to Elland Road or we've gone to places, i.e., you know, Norwich, Stoke and Derby, for instance, that we always talk about being the blueprint, that's a problem for opposition teams. I think when they come and sit in deep, Birmingham, Millwall, Blackburn, all that, Wigan, all that, even Forest to an extent, that's when we have problems. I don't know what you think about that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. You know, I think if they come and try and play us at football, they're going to lose. Yeah. You know, I think if they sit back and they look for the opportunity to move forward, then they've got every chance of, you know, exploiting us at the back. Yeah. You know, we've seen that, haven't we, over the last few games. You know, probably the last sort of 6 or 7 games, we've had a little bit of a problem really in terms of getting out of the block and blocks rather, and just trying to make a go of it right at the start of the game. And I think if you've got a team that's wise to that, then they're going to take advantage. And I think Forest was a really good example of that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
But I suspect that when Derby come on Friday, you know, especially with Lampard and the fact that he wants to play football,
he's going to want revenge as well, isn't he?
It's definitely, he's going to want revenge. So it's going to be canny. You know, I think they're going to play a very clever game.
I think he'll start differently.
They'll try and play. I think it's about winning the battle in the middle, isn't it?
Definitely, and that's what we lost in the QPR game. But for me, you know, you look at the league games that we've had. I think Hull was a real struggle. I think Hull did a number, but you've alluded to it as well. They've still got the parachute payments coming down. They've still got a very good squad. But Forest, I thought were unlucky. I thought we were unlucky in that game. I thought we were a better team with 55 minutes with 10 men, but frustrating. You know, me and you were watching it, and I think it was very, very frustrating.
I mean, Forest, they almost played like the team with 10 men, didn't they, for a period of time. It's like we had 11, they had 10. You know, and we had to do, because obviously we've been a goal down at half time. We came up and we had to do something. But you know, I think I'm very positive. You know, this Derby game, they're going to be looking for revenge. But I think we also are going to be looking for revenge. We need to turn things around. We've had 3 defeats now on the bounce. Things have got to change. I'm sure Bielsa's been doing some really positive work behind the scenes, changing the mindset, saying, look, we need to get this back on track. And we've got some important big players coming back, which are going to make a difference.
A little disclaimer, my dad doesn't know what's been said in the press conference today, so I'm about to enlighten him. But yeah, so anyway, Derby... They've got Tom Lawrence is out, the one who scored. You know, he scored that thunder, whatever you call it, against Leeds. It was an absolute Yeah, I was going to call it something else then. But they've also got Malone out, who's the left back, and potentially they could have Harry Wilson out, who is the one who every time he gets a free kick he scores. He's got 9 goals, he's got 4 assists for Derby, he's the top assist maker. Yeah. He's the man on fire at the minute. So he's from Liverpool. Apparently Leeds were interested at the start, but he's potentially out as well. Yeah. But the news that from Bielsa's presser, once again, the injuries compiling up. Pablo is a massive doubt.
Right.
So they reckon that he could be a massive doubt for the game. Douglas is out for 2 to 3 weeks. Okay. So, you know, the list sort of goes on. You know, now you're looking at, and the interesting thing is as well is going to this Derby game is the 5 for me who were playing in that Derby game when we first started. Saiz, who's obviously left. Calvin, who's suspended. Click's not on form at the minute. He's nowhere near at the same levels as he was when we played Derby the first time. Barad is obviously out.
It sounds gloomy, that Conor.
It does sound gloomy.
But I mean, I think at the end of the day, you know, I mean, it's got a very good unit there. I mean, look at the kids that he's bringing in. They're just fitting in seamlessly, aren't they? They're doing a really good job. I mean, you and I went down to Villa and we saw how that worked on the day itself. You know, we had a kid that was coming in there at the very last moment, and although he had a bit of a problem the first sort of 15 to 20 minutes, but who didn't? The experienced players had the same problems as well. Yeah. He soon got his head round it. So you've got to think about that. Okay, there's going to be injuries. I think the squad's doing amazingly. You know, you know, when you think about what they're doing, and they keep on surprising us, don't they? Time and time again, they're doing things that we're not expecting. They're playing beyond what we would have expected of what we saw last season. So why can't it continue in that way? You know,
so obviously with, I mean, the start of the season now we've had, I think the list was today, I think there's 11 players from the start of the season who've either been either out with injury or suspended.
With it, aren't we? We're coping with it. You know,
do you think we are at the minute?
Well, we have been. You know, I mean, right up until this point in time, we've been coping with injuries. It seems almost every game we play, there's another injury to an important player, and we just seem to be coping with it. And here we are. We're still 2 points ahead of everybody else in the league. Yeah. So we are coping with it. I don't know why we're getting these injuries, whether it's his training regime and what he's doing down there. I think that's
definitely a part of it, to be honest. But Dad, as a contrary to that, you know what Bielsa, at the start of the season, they know Bielsa's going to come in, they know his regime, they know his training schedules, they know exactly what he's like. Would you have not prepared for that? Or is it a case of the fact that Leeds missed out on transfer targets?
Maybe so, but they're also doing some good things behind the scene, obviously, with, is it Rob Price, the medical guy?
Yeah,
He's doing
Price.
some great work, isn't he? So he's obviously getting these injured players back on beam as quick as he can, you know, with what he's doing. So it seems to be we get one out, we get one in.
That's what I mean. There's no continuity, is there?
But that, in a strange kind of way, seems to be working. You know, obviously, if we had that depth of squad, we wouldn't really be. It's threadbare, isn't it? Very. You know, we're really hoping things work out for us. It's that hope word at the moment.
It is. It's hoping,
you know,
isn't it?
And really, you don't want to be hoping.
Can you hope?
You want to be better prepared than we are. We're not very well prepared, I don't think.
Do you think you can? Do you think you can cope? Just like hope in the Championship?
No, well, it's working at this point in time, Conor. Isn't it? It's working at this point in time. We're still 2 points ahead of everybody else. You know, when you look at that. Let's look at the top 6 or top 8. Where would we, at the start of the season, where would we have featured in the quality of the squad in that top 6 or 8, do you think?
I'd have argued, you know, maybe not even that top 8.
We wouldn't have been, would we?
No.
So you know, he's doing something right as Bielsa.
Oh yeah, you can't criticise him.
The team down there is doing something right. The kids that are coming through are helping. Yeah. They're making a difference. Yeah. And it seems to be that when we lose somebody and we get somebody else in, it hardly seems to make a difference.
Seamless, isn't it? It's a seamless transition.
But we are struggling, and he's said the same himself over the last few weeks with things like defending set pieces.
Well, they can't do it at the minute, can they? They can't.
And we did have that. So maybe the experienced players being around early doors made a difference in terms of the goals that were conceded, and we're starting to show up a little bit there.
I think for me as well, the big miss at the minute is obviously it's going to be Phillips, because I think the whole how Leeds United play is pivotal on how he plays. I think him just sweeping up with that back four, I think him in that midfield, he's a lot quicker in my opinion than Forshaw. Forshaw, for me, his past 3 or 4 games have been his poorest in a Leeds shirt. I think the difference with Calvin is, and I've alluded to it on many videos before, is the fact that he receives the ball on his back foot and he sprays it 50 yards and he's not scared and he makes Leeds play as wide as possible. Yeah. And I think for me the only issue with Forshaw, it's a massive game for Forshaw. He has to step up and his performances definitely have to increase. But you know, when we're looking at their news as well, they've lost Craig Forsyth as well, who's one of their big assist hitters as well. Yeah. Derby aren't without injury. You know, I've got a list here. They've got Kian, who's out, Scottish international, Curtis Davis, Mason Bennett, Craig Forsyth, Tom Lawrence, Malone, and potentially Harry Wilson.
So they've got their own problems. We've got our problems. We're the home team. Let's just look at this, Conor. You look at the league, we're at the top of the league. We've got the best home form in the league. We've got the best away form in the league. We're at home. It's been three games since we've had a win. We're going to win this.
Yeah, we're going to win. Yeah.
He's going to have them properly motivated.
Yeah.
Effectively, both teams are coming into this in terms of the personnel and level playing field. By what you've just said to me there, yeah. We've got our problems. They've got their problems. Why shouldn't we be able to beat them at home?
I think, yeah. The only thing I would say to that, just to purely play devil's advocate, would be that the players that we have missing are probably more monumental than Derby's. That's the only thing I would say to that.
Yeah, but we've got a better coach. Yeah. You know, at the end of the day.
Lampard's doing well, though. You've got to give him credit.
It's his first season. It's his first season, but we've got a guy who's been in it for 25 years. You know, he's top coach in the world for a couple of years. You know, so and he's still got it. So you know, he's a wider character. He's going to have this team well up front on Friday, and I think we're going to win this comfortably.
Comfortably?
I do. I really do.
I think
there's going to be a 2-goal gap between us and Derby at the end of the game.
Even without Pablo?
Yeah, I do.
Right, okay.
I really do.
So where's
it going to come from?
I think what people were alluding to as well is the fact that we're probably going to have to put Tyler Roberts in that 10. A lot of people are saying, because Bielsa came out today and said he was a major doubt, Hernandez, but people are still saying, well, will he play? Apparently Hernandez wants to play, but obviously you don't want.
What's the injury?
I'm not sure. It might be a niggle, but you know, it's one of those things where
just picked up a bit of a knock.
Picked up a knock, yeah, and I don't know whether or not Bielsa would have mentioned it in his presser if he was going to play him. I don't think he's got any intention of playing Hernandez. So in that instance, you're probably looking at Tyler Roberts coming into the 10. As Jan Alioski's probably going to go left back, I presume, and then you're probably looking at on the wings, possibly Clark and maybe Jack Harrison. I don't know, but obviously Baker's been sent back today. I don't know if you know that.
I heard that Baker was sent back. About recalling because they do that, don't they?
So yeah, I
don't think he's going to be a massive.
No, I mean what people are having a meltdown about it, and they're saying the squad's threadbare. And with
I can't see what it's contributed.
No, I mean I do agree with them, but the under 23s are a joint first in their league, in the league below, and they've all done very, very well and they've come in. So if it frees up one of them who can come in, then why not? Because they do more than Baker did.
I mean they seem to be confident down there, Conor. I mean we've seen a couple of players leave on loan again, haven't we? I mean I think Louis Coyle's gone back. His loan period at Blackpool's been extended.
Paudie O'Connor's gone to Bradford. I wouldn't mind seeing him. I wouldn't mind seeing Paudie O'Connor.
But obviously they're looking at things down there and they're confident with what they've got. Obviously Orta's working very hard behind the scenes to pull in a couple of different players. We know that. So yeah, let's be confident. We can always hone down on the negatives. They've got an awful lot of negatives. They're not going to be looking forward to coming to Elland Road, especially when you look at the mauling they had at their place. There's going to be trepidation there. Of course, they're going to be looking for some kind of revenge, but they're not going to be savouring this.
No.
And when you look at the last few times we played Derby, we absolutely outplayed them. I remember a couple of years back. I think
that was on a Monk, wasn't it? The 2-0.
Yeah, absolutely outplayed them, and they were way better than us.
I'm hoping
they're way better than us now. We've got a lot better coach.
I think we need a night like that. I think we need to bounce back, and it's got to be. I always refer back to the Monk era because there was such a good feel there. I know you loved Gary Monk, but in that era, you had the 2-0 at home to against Derby. You had the 2-0 against Villa, and do you remember the 2-0 against Brighton? Yeah. Charlie Taylor with the ball in, Chris Wood with a header, and I'm hoping it's a sold out Elland Road. Derby will bring good numbers, they always do, and I'm just hoping it's going to be one of those games where the atmosphere is just, it's sold out, it's Friday night, it's on Sky TV, I just think if the atmosphere's on point and Leeds just turn up,
it will be. It definitely will
yeah,
be.
the crowd will play the part. But you know, are Leeds gonna? Are we gonna turn up from minute one?
This is the point in the season where it could change for the better, or it could change for the worse.
Yeah.
So everybody's fully aware of the importance of this game. We know about the numbers being done. So when people come together, when you're up against the wall, this is the Leeds spirit. This is what we've always had at this club. We've always had that spirit, you know, when we're up against the wall, this is when players turn up, and that's what's going to happen this time around.
Yeah.
So I forget the negatives. There are an awful lot of positives. They've got the same problems. They've got more problems than we have coming into this game. You know, we're still going to be in the top 6. We're probably still going to be top. We're at least going to be in second place by the end of this game on Friday. They've got bigger issues than that.
Also, to add to that, Norwich are playing West Brom this weekend.
Yeah.
Which, you know, that's what I mean. I don't know, what would you like with that one? It's got to be a draw on it.
It has.
It's got to be a draw.
Yeah, I mean, I think Sheffield. I mean, we're looking at West Brom at the moment, obviously, in Norwich, but I mean, the team at the moment for me that are in the real ascendancy are obviously Sheffield United.
Sheffield United, yeah.
I think they're a very, very good team.
Yeah,
for me, from what I've seen this season, I've been most impressed with them. I've not seen an awful lot of West Bromwich Albion, to be honest with you, but I did see the game when West Brom played Sheffield United and lost out. But for me, they're very well drilled. Everybody knows everybody else, and you can see it at the moment. You know, okay, they may have had a bit of lost out to us or lost out to West Brom, but they're picking up points elsewhere.
Also, they've also in the summertime they've sort of corrected the problems. They brought that Oliver Norwood in, who we were looking at, was a quality player promoted with Brighton. And then they've also brought in David McGoldrick, who I think he was brilliant against us. Very unlucky not to score. Yeah. But yeah, it's just, I mean, that's it really. It's one of those games where I think it's definitely the biggest game of the season for me. It's the biggest game of the season.
It certainly is. It almost seems like the next game is always the biggest game of the season. But
Forest was huge as well.
But this really, well, it was, yeah. You know, and we've been quite lucky as well, you know, Conor, over this Christmas period.
Oh, very lucky.
We've been very lucky, haven't we? We've got out of jail quite late on in a couple of games, and then in other games where we haven't quite got out of jail, results have gone for us. Yeah. So I just have this feeling. I really do believe in Bielsa. You know, I think you know the guy is a master. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He knows that he wants more personnel on board. But he's going to have that team really well drilled. He's got them completely motivated for a win on Friday.
Do you think it's a big? It's got to be a big plus as well, having the captain back. Apparently Cooper's back.
I think so.
So I think that's and that's going to help us in the set piece department as well.
We all know how well he's progressed this year, and I think it really does count down there. He's coming out with some great stuff, isn't he, in terms of what he says.
He's a captain as
well. On social media, and he's
well.
proven it as well on the pitch, and he really is a true captain. You know, and honestly, Conor, I think this is going to be a big win for us. I really do. You know, I think we're going to see clear daylight between us and the rest come Saturday night, and you know, I think there's every reason why we should be positive. Yeah. Let's forget the negatives. He's going to have us well drilled. I think we're going to be back on course for a win on Friday night.
All right, cool. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit more. I always am, aren't I? But I'm a little bit more sceptical. I just think they're going to come with a bit of a different game plan. They need to, because like we've alluded to, if they don't, then they're in trouble. And I still think with the personnel, I think with the likes of Cleek having a rest, Roof's going to be on there on form. Hopefully, Clark's still in with a shout. We've still got some dangerous attacking options, and I think. So, what's your prediction then?
Well, my prediction is I'm going to go 3-1 Leeds.
3-1.
3-1 Leeds. Yeah.
Well, I'll go with a 2-1 Leeds, and. Yeah, what I'm going to do now, guys, is pass you over to Kian. Kian Marley is a Derby County fan channel. He's brilliant. His link will be in the description below. He's only a young lad. He's trying to make his way on the YouTube game. But thanks to you, Dad. Thanks for that. And I think he's enjoyed it. I think everyone else will enjoy it as well, having him on. But yeah, I'll catch you later, guys. Like, comment and subscribe. And I'll see you in a bit.
Alright Conor mate, thanks for getting me on the channel, and for you guys watching at home, don't forget to subscribe to Leeds TV, and while you're at it, if you could drop me a sub, I'd really appreciate it. So, Leeds United versus Derby County. I think we've got you lot at a good time. You just lost to Hull and Nottingham Forest away. But then if you're looking at form, before that loss to Hull, you lot had won 7 or 8 on the trot, which is mad. When you lot are bang on form, you look unstoppable. It's like when you lot came to Pride Park. I think it was Lampard's first home game in charge, We got battered 4-1. Fair play to Marco, your manager, because he definitely knows what he's doing. I'd take a draw going to Ellen Road. I think any team in the Championship would happily go to Ellen Road and get a point, because your team is class. We're on pretty decent momentum. We came back from 2-0 to draw 2-2 against Southampton. Player that you guys need to watch out for, I'd probably say Harry Wilson or Mason Mount. They're both just class in the middle of the park. If you guys get a free kick and it's 35 yards or closer, then I'd get a man on the line, because you know what's going to happen. What we can't do is what we did at Pride Park when you lot beat us 4-1. We just let you play your game. It's like when we played Sheffield United away a few weeks ago. We just let them play their game. We just fell for the trap and then just didn't turn up. We got battered 3-1. If we let you lot bully us in the middle of the park, which more time you will do, because you've got much more physicality in that team. In your defence as well, you got the likes of Pontus Jansson, who's an absolute brick at the back. So yeah, good luck to Leeds after this game. I'm sure at around May time, you lot will definitely be up or around there. So best of luck after this game. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe to All Leeds TV, and don't forget to subscribe to me. I appreciate it. Cheers.